Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. How's it going? Did you have a good night last night? I had a pretty good night. It was all right, you know. Went home, had a rum to celebrate. United are in the FA Cup semi-final. As I hoped for in the review, we have seemingly managed to draw Coventry City. Very happy with that. It's certainly not a bye. It'll be a tough game. Coventry City are playing some excellent football, and weirdly, Mark Robins, the man who saved Sir Alex Ferguson's job, could stand in the way of Erik Ten Hag keeping his. There's some sort of poetry in there at some point, I'm sure, but that's how it stands at the moment. And I'm going to do 5 things live today and have a bit of a chat to you guys and see what's happening. So let's get into it, shall we? So, number 1, Ahmad. He played like a man with a point to prove, and we got a good handful of chances just by Ahmad pressing and being energetic and all the rest of that sort of stuff. A lot is made about his on the ball ability, but I thought it was his off the ball desire, his work rate, even his movement when we were in possession. I thought was really, really impressive. Could have been really easy for him to struggle, mope, sulk, as some people have suggested he's doing by seeing things that are on social media, which is rarely the truth. He's not really had much game time. I wonder now is putting in a performance, scoring a goal like that enough to get him some more game time. And obviously, he's going to be banned because the first, you can't argue really with the second yellow. You can't, because it is like so explicit in the rules. But the first one is a little bit questionable, isn't it? Which it's a bit like the Delo one, where you're like, well, you can't really argue with the first, but then the second one was just stupid, especially so closely apart. And especially when there's a precedent for so many people doing the thing that he did in games so often. That winning goal could end up being a career highlight. It could end up being something that kickstarts his career. It could end up being something that gives him the confidence to really start expressing himself. It could do so much for him. And I'm here to see it, to be honest, because this squad is paper thin, and anyone that can come in and help out is going to be a massive asset to us as well. Number 2, Garnacho. Garnacho's an interesting player because I don't think he's quite even hit the level of Nani in a United shirt yet, but he shows flashes, and there's clearly potential there. How high the ceiling is, I don't think we know at the moment. He backs himself. He's got undeniable sort of dribbling ability. I actually thought Gomez coped with him quite well, and he couldn't use. I think Gomez being so fast and so like physically strong dealt with Garnacho quite easily, actually. But there's a knack that he's got. I mean, the first goal comes from his inside run. Great off the ball movement. Decent shot. Obviously, the deflection gets put in. But he did 120 minutes of high speed running and intensity, and he was pressing. He was getting fouled constantly, which I don't know why he doesn't seem to get given any of these fouls that he gets. He seems to have a Ronaldo style mentality where he doesn't dwell on the mistakes. He doesn't dwell on a failed action. He doesn't care if he's had 5 shots. He's looking for a 6th. And there's something in that resilience and sort of constant determination, relentlessness that really, really lifts a player. Considering his age, considering where he's been from this season to last, looking at what could happen from this season to next, we have got a genuine first team player there. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that is a first team player. Where is he gonna land in terms of ability? I think the mentality is there. As soon as he starts making better decisions with the ball, I think there's a real problem. Physically, I think he's got some great attributes. The agility, the touch, the finish, all that's there. Good performance from him yesterday, and he absolutely ran his legs off. And sometimes That's all you want to see. Sometimes when your back's against the wall, you just want to see lads that are willing to dig in, and he dug in a big way. We've got a super chat here from Tom. I was going to try and read all the comments afterwards, but I'll lose this if I don't read it now. So it says, good morning, Steve. Buzzing from that win yesterday. My birthday's tomorrow, so that was a nice early birthday present. Amazing comeback. Love the coping from the Scousers this morning. Well, happy birthday for tomorrow, pal. Cheers for the super chat. And yeah, the copium from the Scousers is brilliant. You seen that Elmick Nicol on ESPN? We might have to dig into him later in the week, but we'll see on that one. Next up, we've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I would say Wan-Bissaka had a real good first half, I would say. Playing at left back, he was still surprisingly good at progressing the ball. Not perfect, but he was still surprisingly good. Salah was just non-existent in the game for like the first half hour or so, and I think that was because of how close Wan-Bissaka got to him. Clearly instructions to do so, but he did it fantastic. Considering how limited we are by not having two fit fullbacks, having the ability to be able to switch Wan-Bissaka over to left back was a big asset for us, I think. And I think I kind of understand why, because for the most part, you're going to want Dalot's delivery on the right-hand side. The way it ended up playing with like Dalot and Maguire being our only two defenders on the pitch, Dalot was clearly not going to go forward. So you kind of missed out on having that sort of delivery a little bit because of the way the game ended up going. I mean, by full time, we were playing a mad formation, and then obviously throughout injury time, you're playing Anthony at left back, you've got Dalot at right back, and you've got Maguire with fucking Bruno Fernandes kind of playing this like hybrid six kind of like number 4 role, if you like. Mad. Very close to a 3-diamond-3 sort of formation with United playing. Very close to it, but absolute carnage. Absolute carnage. And like I said yesterday, it was the kitchen sink formation. It was a find a way to win formation. And we came up with doing that. Number 4, I was always going to talk about Mainoo. Mainoo's limitless ceiling. He can be a 6. He can be a 10. I think 8 is where he's going to land and develop. He could even play on the wing, right? And I think he could probably even play at fullback. I'm going to be honest with you. The feat that he displayed yesterday. There were so many times that someone played him a risky pass. And I mean a risky pass. When there was 2 men on him and they pressed him. And he managed to get a turn and then managed to release the ball. But Joe, what I loved, there was a couple of moments where the obvious out ball, oh my God, I'm in trouble, let me get it to that player. He didn't. He made an extra turn and he found someone who was in a really good position. And I'm going, this is incredible. Like those who know what my seat looks like in the Stretford end, the view that I get from there, you get to see all 22 players without moving your head. It's great for a tactical kind of view. And you get to see passes really, really early from that position that I'm in. It's not as easy at ground level. It's certainly not as easy when you're the guy being pressed and you're trying to deal with it. So for him to see passes that we can see from the top deck of the Stretford end, whilst being pressed, in the middle of like the cauldron that atmosphere was yesterday, this kid is going to the absolute top. He plays with the mentality of a 34-year-old veteran in midfield. He brings a calmness that 500 Premier League games brings. And he's what? I don't even know if he's 20 Premier League games in yet. Let's have a look. Like, it might be like 15 Premier League games that he's played in his fucking life. And all of these, by the way, will not even be starts. It's 15 Premier League games. It's 15 Premier League games. He's played in total 20 games this season. He played 3 last year, which were mostly off the bench. Honestly, what can't he do? The footwork that he displayed, both feet, dancing through Liverpool's defence at times. Get him a destroyer that sits next to him and allows him to play with a little bit of freedom, because my days you're going to see a footballer. My day, like, what can he develop into? What can he develop into? Just the skill, the mentality, the calmness, the composure, the quality in his pass selection, the decision making. It's absolutely sensational. And then for the 5th point, I got a lot. I thought Onana had an excellent game. He's conceded 3 goals, but were any of them his fault? There was 2 deflections in there for starters. I thought Dalot had an absolute all-time game. I don't necessarily know what to pick. Nice to see Mason Mount out on the pitch. Is Martinez going to be back in time for a semi or a final? When's he coming back? When is he coming back? Like, what's that look like? Just get this back over here. I mean, let me know in the comments what do we know? What do we know? And any questions? Let's get into that sort of stuff. I think I just saw a super chat, but again, I thought I lost it there. Shane says, "Is there anything better than salty Scouse tears? I don't want to know about it. Up the Reds and up the paddock." So, thank you. I just threw a tweet out there like Jurgen Klopp's probably going to finish with the League Cup. There's a pretty good chance that he also adds the Europa League to that. But we sacked Jose the same year that he won those things. And I can guarantee Klopp goes out getting absolutely tugged off by everybody. And maybe the final point is I saw a survey yesterday which said Jurgen Klopp was the nicest manager. And I was like, I don't know where this guy gets his PR from. I don't know if it's like that. The Scousers have got this knack of just rallying behind stuff constantly. It's semi-impressive and semi-cultish the way it happens with them. Yeah, there's just no free thinking allowed. You have to just buy hook, line and sinker everything that we're doing, and Jurgen Klopp is the greatest and he's the most nicest man in the world. That's their mentality, right? Like I said, it's equal parts impressive and cultish in the way it happens. But Jurgen Klopp is not a nice bloke, right? Time and time and time and time and time again, you see Jurgen Klopp just losing it with journalists. Now, I'm not necessarily against losing it with shit questions from journalists, but Jurgen Klopp gets asked very, very fair questions, and questions that warrant an answer. Not some of the nonsense. Like, you get, you just won 5-0. Are you happy with that? No. Feel like I've stubbed my toe on a fucking coffee table. Like, it's not those questions he loses his rag with. It's questions that are, a little bit critical of something that he's done or said or how his team's performed. And he absolutely loses his shit in a really, really weird, snide way. And nobody calls him out on it. No one in the media is like, why is he such a fucking knob? Like, no one ever calls him out for it. And he's like that all the time. All the time. And it's not going to slow down this absolute wankathon that's going to happen with him. It's one of them, innit? Joe says Martinez should be back for Brentford, I read. So we'll be back for the semis and hopefully the final. Now that makes a big difference, I think. Any word on Malacia? Nope. EP says Klopp as homeful diva. He behaves like a petulant brat. Padre says the media wankfest of Liverpool fans was embarrassing, not even a mention for the United fans. I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans having themselves because they thought they were loud. Newsflash, fuckwits, right? You thought you were loud because you was on the top deck of East Stand. The noise gets trapped in and echoed back to you. We think we're loud in the Stretford end. The noise gets trapped in. Old Trafford's acoustics don't make anybody sound loud. We can't hear you on the other side, and you can't hear us, and South Stand can't hear fucking anybody, right? It is not loud, yeah? It can be rocking in each individual stand, but for some reason, because of the shape of the roof, I presume, I'm not a fucking acoustics expert, it just doesn't travel across the pitch. So Liverpool were fucking covering themselves in chocolate, thinking that they were fucking absolutely having it off. They did the same bullshit that they did at Anfield. They played a stupid little fucking Jerry and the Pacemaker song. They shut up, and then they had a bit of it, having it off when they were winning. And I mean, a little bit when they scored. After that, it was back on mute. They're fucking silent. United were as equally as loud from the first goal to when we were 2-1 down. There was a bit of frustration in it at 2-1 down. But the noise when it went off at the end, nah. We're having it. Ashwin says, if we win the FA Cup and finish outside the top 4, will Ten Hag survive? Well, 5th is enough now. I think we still probably have to get 5th. I think if you get Champions League qualification, because you can't call it top four. It's just Champions League qualification and the FA Cup. Yeah, I think he survives. Name says I can only hear United on the telly. Scott says I saw something at Malasia, had to have 2 surgeries and our medical team have fucked him over. Great. Brian says Ahmad can serve his ban in the league against Brentford. Weber says, was anyone scared that our third will be ruled out for handball against McTominay? I didn't see that one, to be honest. Reese says, is it true that Paddock have an under-16s team for next season? Have you got more info? We haven't officially announced it, although I guess I kind of just have. Yes, we will have an under-16s team for next year. We are also trying to get an under-18s team. They'll be playing in the Northwest Development League. There's a bit of fuckery about it, so I can't announce all of that just yet. But we have to put all of this to our members as a fan-owned club before we do it. And before a final decision is made. We have also got some voting happening on next season's kit, which should happen as soon as I can get the proposal written. And then we also will have votes on sponsorship and also votes on what to do with live broadcast, because we have now got live broadcast capability. And I think there's 3 options, but the members will decide on this. Option 1 is that we live broadcast all of our games on YouTube. Option 2 is that we live broadcast none of our games on YouTube and we send a link just to the members as a perk for being a member. Option 3, which is the one I'm kind of leaning to, is that we broadcast 75-80% of our games exclusively for members as a members perk, but 1 game a month or so gets put public to try and bring more members in so the club can actually grow, because you can't be a closed club. You have to try and attract members and stuff like that to be able to grow. So those are the things that we'll be voting on soon. If you're more interested in that, just go check it out. Stretford Paddock membership and come and have your say in actually running a football club that gives a fuck about you. How about that? Muvedon says Steve Mainoo starting to dance his way through 2 players. He's got me. He's a good player. He's a really good player. Dan says, I think we can go on a roll, especially if Martinez is back and Villa and Spurs will drop points. Spurs' next 4 games are genuinely horrific. Like United, 4th is a hell of a ask. A hell of a ask. But 5th is a decent ask. Tanksy says, can you do live for members and then replay on YouTube? I don't really want to do that because there's reasons for it, algorithm reasons. Like long matches like that, they hurt. Long videos with poor engagement, because it would be relatively poor engagement versus a shorter video, they do worse in the algorithm, so don't want to do that. SG says, that was the best game I've ever been to by a mile. Niall says, Old Trafford's falling down, give Erik his crown, sign him on for 10 more years. The Reds are on the beers. SSMUFC says, Bruno the absolute warrior and leader. Chris says, that was mint. What a way for Patrick to have his day. Up the fucking Reds. Jimmy says, not sure why no one's talking about the backward passing on numerous times during the match. Delayed many forward plays and opportunities to score. Well, I spoke about it a touch in the review that I did last night. And yeah, I there was at times where I thought Marcus was coming to feet, and we did play it safe a little bit, and we looked so dangerous. Like Martinez was a Marshall. My fucking Christ! Start again. Hi, my name's Stephen. Marcus had Gomez on absolute toast whenever he ran at him. I think Gomez enjoyed it when Marcus wanted to play to feet and wanted to go back with it. So yeah, it was a frustration at times, but maybe we had to manage the game as well. Ultimately, we got the result we wanted, so it's one of those, isn't it? Matthew says, so exciting to see the young players come through. Ant says, this reminded me of Real Madrid 2003. We did lose the tie that day, though, didn't we? Reese says, if Ten Hag somehow gets 4th, imagine the media discrediting us and slating us, saying we should have been better. Van Tom says, full games for members, highlights uploaded later in the day. Yeah, we still upload the highlights, because that's obviously how we get out to various people and that, innit? If we lose 3 successive FA Cup finals, record. Wait. We haven't been in 3 successive FA Cup finals. I mean, we've lost. We could potentially lose. Because Liverpool was in one the year before last year, wasn't they? Or did I just fucking invent that? I didn't invent that. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. List of FA Cup finals. I'm trying to think who was in the year before. Obviously, right, here we go. Last year, yeah. In fact, we've not even been in 3 FA Cup finals. When the fuck was the last time we was there? Chelsea 2018, yeah. So no, it'd be 2 for us. But yeah, it'd be our 3rd loss since Crystal Palace. Yeah, okay, I guess. Ross says 4th and 5th are the same. Same points targets to chase, so just aim for 4th. Yeah, fair enough. Kreshnik says, please make sure Bruno and Rashi are gone next year. Mate, are you on the wrong fucking channel? What? Do one. Fuck me. Dean says, that game is why I don't want Old Trafford knocked down. So many great... Oh, lost it. Where's that gone? Lost it. Brian says, the only negatives I can remember is Marcus not winning it in 90. Other than that, it was all positive. Yeah. So the first replay that I managed to see, he looked well on. Although it does look like he probably would have been called off had he managed to actually put it away. Who do I want in the final? I obviously want fucking Chelsea. Like, Manchester City are just infinitely better than us right now. Let's have it right. They are, right? Chelsea are wildly unpredictable. And I feel if Chelsea somehow beat City in a semi-final, they would lose to us in a final, which there's no logical sense to that whatsoever, right? And I'm not going to try and pretend there is. I just feel like that would happen. Would João Neves work well with Mainoo? Yeah, probably. Ullman says, taking a shirt off yellow was created because of controversial tattoos and bare skin. In the spirit of the rule, Ahmad did nothing wrong. Yeah, I could argue with that. Ant says, oh, he's acting someone else. Can you say 115 times? Dave says, just need to stop Palmer if it's Chelsea. United would beat Chelsea in a final if they somehow managed to stuff their way through. John says, Klopp being a shithouse with a journalist after game was not surprising. It was not. A. Gill says, mount back. Hopefully it comes good. Yep. Lolly says, honestly, the noise at the end of the game yesterday was like the old days. Brian says, Chelsea are beatable, but there's a little voice inside that wants City for a chance to avenge last year. Realistically, though, I don't know if we would. We did well for 45 minutes at the Etihad, and we've beaten them at home. But, what was it, 24 fucking seconds? Did I see the flare thrown into the disabled section by them lot? Yes, and it was one of the paddock members. It was Simon that was right next to it where it landed. He was chatting to us through the game about it yesterday in a paddock top, I think, actually, as well. Where does Mount fit in? Ideally, where fucking McTominay's been playing, I think, at the moment. David says emotional after that result, but Onana's still a big problem. Surprised he's not getting any criticism for any of the goals. Hang on, David, really? Onana had a fucking great game yesterday. A great game yesterday. 2 of the goals were literally deflected on their way to him. What level of Superman do you fucking think he is? He saves both of those if they don't get deflected. Both of them. Fucking hell, man. Josh says, did I see Carragher's head loss tweet? Basically tried to say he didn't care about the game. Of course. Does this top the night in Paris? It might be on par, you know. It might be on par. CTB says, we actually won deservedly based on performance, and we haven't seen that for a while. Do you know what? That first 30 minutes or so, United was pressing so effectively. Liverpool couldn't get out. Liverpool play out real nice, right? And they couldn't get out. And we was winning the ball around the halfway line and then going on the attack again. It was fucking great to see. And we was carving them open. We had a lot of chances. Way more chances than I thought we'd have had, certainly. Like I tweeted, though, I think we need a second. And we didn't obviously get the second until right at the end of the game, but you know what I mean? Marty says, Steve, we win the FA Cup and Ineos give Ten Hag next year. Are you giving out sausage rolls and cuddles? I'll probably just do that off the back of winning the FA Cup the way this season's gone. I mean, you know, I think United are strong favourites to beat Coventry. I think that'd be fair to say without being disrespectful to Coventry. I think United are strong favourites to make the final. What happens after that is anybody's guess at the moment. So Ten Hag is potentially looking at 3 finals with the criticism that he's getting and the squad that he's had available to him. The guy needs a little bit of fucking respect, man. MD says, Mainoo first 30 minutes, unreal. Boss that midfield. Shame he hasn't got someone to keep him from getting exposed. Yeah, there was at times yesterday where I was literally watching him, Mark, McAllister, and fucking Slobsly. I was watching him try and fucking pinball between the two because it was only him that was doing it. First 35 should have been 2-0 up. I could agree with that. Noto says England's midfield should be Mainoo, Bellingham and Rice. It picks itself. It does. It does pick itself, but it won't because fucking Gareth Southgate picks it. And so many people just misunderstood my tweet yesterday. Ian Wright did a video saying, how's Mainoo not in the England squad? And I think everyone who's watched him this season sort of felt the same thing, right? And I said it's because he's too busy writing fucking love letters to Calvin Phillips. And everyone's like, don't you mean Henderson? Like, no, I mean Calvin Phillips because I wrote Calvin Phillips. And I know Calvin Phillips isn't in the England squad. But have you seen the quotes from Gareth Southgate about Calvin Phillips? He's fucking devastated he couldn't pick him. He's like, I still think he's the best player in that position for us. And I just want him to get into a little bit of a form so I can pick him again. Southgate knows. He knows he's shit, but he's just laser focused on trying to be able to pick fucking Calvin Phillips again. Rather than going, like, here's the other thing, right? He's picking Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson's playing in a fucking back 3 at Ajax right now. I can't pick him because he don't play there for his club. Every single reason or excuse or mitigation that Gareth Southgate has given about how he picks his squad, he's broken. I only pick players on form. Lies. I only pick players playing in the position that I'm going to play them for. Lies. Like, he just say, I pick my favourites. I pick my little table tennis squad. That's what he does, because that's what he does. Will Ahmad play the semis? Don't know. It's a long way to that, yeah. It's like a month away, isn't it? Listen, Stretford Paddock play Clay Brow, which might be a top of the table decider on the Saturday. I am fucking praying that this game gets drawn to the Sunday. I don't know when the draw is, like who they decide plays Saturday and Sunday. I am fucking desperate for United to be on the Sunday. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to go. Do I think Delo has proven his critics wrong? Yes. Pricey says, I'm so happy Mainoo's a United player. He's unreal. Facts. Loads of you commenting saying I'd rather keep him away from the England squad. Yeah, I get that. Is there a merit in playing Martinez as defensive midfield when he returns from injury? No, because we need him at centre-half. The league matches count for the red? Yes. Phil says, well, happy Mainoo isn't in the squad. He'd be nailed on and get injured. Scott says, Southgate's annoying. He can't be allowed to manage United, surely. I mean, he shouldn't be allowed to manage fucking England. Adam says, get the shades and plastic cigars out for me and Rio. No, because we don't celebrate things before we've won. Off the top of my head, who's the perfect 6 to come in the summer alongside Mainoo? I don't know. There's too many. There isn't just... There's actually a shitload of options. You can go and get loads of them. It depends on what the strategy is for elsewhere and how much you're willing to spend, as it is for everything. Stan says, we still have Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea and Liverpool. Is top 5 realistic? Yeah. Because Spurs have got City, Arsenal and Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? SSM UFC says most likely be the Saturday as the City versus Chelsea game is bigger. Feels like Flash's fixtures are always Sunday. Was we Sunday last time? Alistair says more respect needed on Bruno's name following his leadership and skills evidenced yesterday. Why do I think our performance drops off after first half an hour? Fitness or players at fault? Probably fitness. You got to think, we aren't really able to rotate players with any level of quality. And the players that are playing, like, look at this, right? We had Højlund, Wan-Bissaka, Mount, all come back from injury and all get straight into the team because there's nobody else that can play. You know what I mean? Stato says, I thought the analysis at the end was amazing. Soon as having to say good things about United, and every single word that came out of his mouth was with disdain and venom. He talks like Liverpool really deserved a win. I watched it back this morning. I don't often go and watch the TV coverage, but because I knew Souness was on there, I thought I would have to see it. And I knew Roy Keane was on there, and I was interested in what Roy Keane had to say. But I went and watched the analysis part of it just to see. And Souness almost couldn't wrap his head around Liverpool losing, which was great to see. But the way he was like, Liverpool just couldn't finish them off. Liverpool didn't have any chances, mate, really. Liverpool didn't have more chances to win the game than we did. United looked threatening all the time. Liverpool had the ball, but you did nothing with it. Like, possession has to have a fucking purpose. You can't just knock it around your back four and think you deserve to win a fucking game. Yes, you dominated the ball. Where did you dominate it? Now, if you're dominating the ball in and around the box and you're creating chances and you're peppering the goal, then do you know what? Yeah, you deserve to win a game. But if you're not doing that, then shut the fuck up. Manchester City dominated us. First half, actually. Second half, they barely had a shot and they beat us, right? And there's not a single United fan going, do you know what? We deserve more out of that fucking game. No, we didn't. But against Liverpool, we were good value for that fucking win. I was texting Ben all the way through the game going, I can't fucking believe we're behind here, man. We really don't fucking deserve to be behind. Taz says we had double the XG of Liverpool. Well, there you fucking go. There you go. United had 4 more shots than Liverpool yesterday. Right, so I felt it. When is the semi? The 20th and 21st of April, and we really, really, really want United to be the 21st of April. Otherwise, I can't fucking go, man. Flashburn says, for sale, quad, spares and repairs, was working until the wheels fell off. Do you know what? I fucking hate the talk of quad. I can remember the Arsenal team being like around January and February every fucking year without fail. And they never even won the league after this. I'm talking like 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Arsenal was winning the quadruple every fucking year. And did they win the quad? No. It's so disrespectful. Considering there's only ever been 2 trebles and only 1 without charges. The talk of quads is just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. Danny says no reason United can't keep this level of performance from now. I would hope so. Yeah. Have I got tickets? I will have. I don't miss any of the games, so or the ones I miss, my lad goes to. So we're in the Auto Cup scheme. We got semis and final last year. I would presume I get semis and final this year. I don't see what would have changed. So if I'm going, I'm going. If I'm not going, Jaden and my dad will go. So it's one of those. Are Liverpool having an open top bus parade with the Carabao Cup for Klopp's farewell? I might go. Omar says, just wanted to give you a proper shout out for doing exceptional work around United. Cheers, mate. Coach Zach says, I got the bare minimum sleep, so pumped. What performance, what a night. Kobe, Alejandro, Ahmad of the future. There's some good signs there, I'll give you that. MD says, Lindelof isn't the greatest centre-back, but gives everything every time. Don't mind him being 4th choice and staying. No, and I don't think he's on crazy mad wages, to be honest, either. Ronnie's just posted his own Twitter. Let's see what he's saying here. And now I've lost all my chat. Quadruple talk, though, and there isn't a Scouser alive that can count to 4. Oh, Ronnie, they're going to be so upset with you. Right, let me get the rest of these chats up now. I've just lost them because of that. Not a good look for Amrabat, not getting a kick. Sending back, 10 hard gambles worked out. I don't want to see a back three of Bruno, Anthony, Delo ever again, though. No, me either. Red Devil TV says it's about time Liverpool fans got humbled. Yeah, love it. Liam Knight says, what about my chat? Have I missed it? One sec. There was a few. Where is it? I must have missed it, mate. Oh, there you got it. Delo is becoming my favourite player. What a guy. Found it. Yeah, I mean, he definitely is a red. He absolutely gets it. MNK says, don't you just love it when you're the ones to ruin Klopp's final season to win the quad? Credit to Maguire, he was class. It was good when he came on. I give him that, yeah, for sure. Malp says, question is, can we beat Coventry next? We can beat Coventry next, yeah. Do I reckon Leverkusen do the undefeated treble? Well, I do think Leverkusen are the biggest threats to the Scousers. They're in the Europa League, aren't they? I've not just invented that. Which means, yeah, they could end up with just the League Cup. Because I still think City are the favourites for the league. Devil7 says, finally, we just see the lads having a go. Feel proud to be a Red. Future is bright with these youngsters coming through. Listen, I've waffled on for long enough. I was meant to go to Penny Fan 2 weeks ago, and I had to change my plans last minute. But I am going tomorrow. I've got a meeting with the army tomorrow, and then I'm going to go and do the fan dance in that there Wales tomorrow. And there might be a former Welsh captain joining me on there as well. If he can find his balls. Thursday, me and Ash are going to the Wales-Finland game, and then I'll be back on Friday. So in Wales all week this week. So that should be fun, but there'll be loads of content coming out on the IRL channel. If you haven't gone and checked it out, really, really appreciate it if you go and check out the IRL channel. The link will be in the description of this video. I think, yeah, it says check out Howson IRL here, or just search Howson IRL. I done a winter survival video where I went and did a winter course up in Scotland in the Cairngorms. Go and check the video out. I think you'll like it. There's shitloads of content coming out on that IRL channel, and I'm having all sorts of fun as a bit of a distraction away from football, which has been a bit rough this year, but it was pretty good last night, wasn't it? Anyway, cheers for tuning in as always. Thanks for all the love and support. Subscribe if you're new. Go check out the IRL channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.